everybody, it's Fun Princess back with another video for you guys, and I know my channel tends to be very educational and super positive. Maybe it's the isolation, maybe it's the quarantine, I don't know, or maybe I'm born with it. I feel a little bit salty today, so we are going to talk about 10 things that I hate about Lolita Fashion. The first thing that I hate is the name itself. Not because of really what it's called. I find the word Lolita to be cute. It's more the association that people tend to have with the word. So like when we're talking about Lolita, sometimes people think about the Nabokov novel, which associates a bunch of like sexual things to the fashion, which it is not related to whatsoever. And sometimes people also confuse Lolita for lolicon, like the weird fetishy thing from anime that's also kind of skeezing me out. So it's more the reaction of the public to the actual name that really gets on my nerves. Just because of the way the fashion is called, we have to constantly justify ourselves to people around us, which is just a bad look. Like if it was called something else, I don't know what, it would make it so much easier. So oftentimes when people ask, I don't say this is Lolita Fashion, I just say, oh, it's a fashion based on historical styles adapted to modern times, because it's less complicated than to have to go into why it's called the way it's called. So that's why I don't really like the name in and of itself. The second thing that I hate is people touching you. I don't know if it's because we look so interesting, like something that you would see in a zoo or something, but you still don't touch animals in the zoo, you know what I'm saying? And yet, just because of the way we look and how we're styled, people think that it's an excuse to lift our skirts to see what's under there because there's magic happening because of the poof. And they just want to touch our hair because, you know, it's big and poofy and has different styles. So people feeling like they've got ownership of us because of the way we look is something that really bothers me. And you know, I wear this style on the daily, so I tone it down when I go to the office, but anytime it's the weekend and I kind of jazz it up, people oftentimes come up to me and then want me to hold their child to take a picture or want to see what's under my skirt or things like that, and that just makes me very uncomfortable. So even though I love the fashion for how it looks to me, on me, and I love seeing it on other people, I hate the rapport we have with the general public and the ownership they feel that they have over us, our clothes, and our bodies. Third thing that I hate about it is also related to other people. You'll see there's different sections to this list, but it's all the comments that people make. So it's not just the fact that they touch us, it's also the fact that they always have the same type of associations with the fashion. So they will go about and be like, oh, is it like Little Bo Peep, Alice in Wonderland? Are you Amish? Is it a religious thing? Are you from a different country? Are you from Hungary? Is that what this is about? And it really gets on your nerves when you're just trying to go to the grocery store to keep having to answer these same questions. You have to be like, no, it's not a costume. No, I'm not cosplaying. No, I am not dressed as a manga, whatever that means, because you can't dress as a book. Maybe as a book character, not as a book. It really bothers me. And you just feel like you have to keep justifying it. So at some point, I just stop engaging with the public and I'm like, no, I dress like that all the time. Then just stare into their eyes so that they understand that I'm serious. Because oftentimes if you just say, no, I'm dressed like this all the time, they go like, ha ha ha, really? You have to do the death glare thing so that they know that you're serious. And then they will start to inch away gradually and be like, okay, this went into a different direction than what I thought. That's exactly what you have to do. So dealing with the public is really something that I'm not fond of. You might have noticed from these videos, but I still love the fashion, I love the community. But yeah, this is definitely one of the things that really irritates me. The fourth thing that really gets on my nerves, and I know this has been a hot button issue in like 2019 and 2020, but it's H players and DDLGs that get into the Lolita space, use Lolita's photos, like outfit shots and photo shoot shots, to then write really creepy messages about wanting to be petted by their daddies. It's involving people in their kinks against their will. It makes me very uncomfortable, and I have no problems with whatever, you know, fetishes people have in their own homes, but as soon as you're bringing it out into a community with, you know, people that do not consent to it and minors, it's just plain wrong to me. And this has been an increasing problem where I've seen pictures from my friends being taken and used for sexual purposes by complete strangers off of the internet, and it just makes me really uncomfortable. And I don't know why, but these people from those communities have started more and more to integrate Lolita fashion circles, and it makes people feel very unsafe. I have no problems with men wearing Lolita as long as it is in the respect, you know, of the fashion and that they just love to wear it. It's completely fine. Or even people that are into DDLG and are women, like, it's completely fine. It's just that don't sexualize the fashion and don't kind of bring that type of sexual energy into Lolita spheres where people are non-consenting. It makes people very uncomfortable, and I know this has been something that's been hammered home by other Lolita YouTubers, but it's also something that has been bothering me for a very long time. So this is a rising issue, and it's an issue that really gets on my nerves. So the fifth thing that I really hate is mostly about social media platforms, and it's related to point number one. Because of the fact that the fashion is named Lolita, automated engines are going to treat oftentimes the tags that contain Lolita fashion, Lolita style, or whatever as some inappropriate content that are mature in nature, and so YouTube videos mentioning the word Lolita or that has the title Lolita will tend to be demonetized or not receive the same type of attention that others will. So it feeds into this loop where it's hard to create content and for content to be shown. I know there was a span of time where the Lolita fashion tag in Instagram, just people couldn't have access to it anymore because it was blocked, but it was also used by some of the DDLG community and some people that posted lolicon stuff while attaching it to Lolita fashion. So we saw some sexual content that had no place in being in those tags, but because of that, all of the automated engines and bots treat the Lolita subgenre and fashion and tags in a very separate manner, which makes it very hard to kind of find people and, you know, connect with each other. It makes it harder to see. So definitely that is also something that just, you know, it makes me very irritated, and I wish that we could change it, but because of the name, we kind of can't, right? We have to live with it. Number 6, and now we're getting into spicy territory. So this is for all of you guys out there that have bought some used clothing and received it, and then it smelled like cat piss, or there was cat piss on it, or there was huge underarm stains that were yellow or crusted with old blood. There was even a post in EGL about a girl that received a dress that she was sure was stained with period blood back in the EGL community days off of Line Journal. So the thing that I hate is people who sell rank clothing, like disgusting clothing, people who don't wash their clothes, because apparently that's the thing. Some people are so scared that Lolita clothing is gonna like rip, hair, and whatever, they just do not wash them. And I'm talking no dry cleaners, no hand washing, no machine washing, no steaming, no nothing. They will just wear them and wear them, accumulating a variety of different stains, of different colors, of different smells. And when you buy a dress that might look fine on the pictures and you receive it, and then you have to dunk it through and wash it in your bath 3 times while seeing the water turn a murky brownish color and sludge, you know that you're in for a bad time. And this has happened to me, guys. Especially, like, it's horrible when you buy things, especially on Mbok, Yahoo Auctions, like all the Japanese sites, or Xiaoyu. If that happens with Xiaoyu, I haven't had a bad experience as of yet. But sometimes, you know, the seller won't necessarily list everything, and you don't really have that rapport when you can give feedback to say, hey, what the heck, did you sell me this? I bought a dress for a lot of money once. It was a rare moitié dress. The person mentioned that they smoked, but outside, and that no smoke, you know, kind of went near the dress. But actually, I got the dress and it smelled like an ashtray. And then I had to hand wash it in my bath 3 times, and the water turned into this thick grayish brown sludge. It was horrible, and I've had friends who've bought dresses that smelled like cat pee so bad that they had to wash it again and again and again, and all different types of things. So please, when you sell things, be honest about the condition of the garment. If there are any of those types of factors where it would make it a lot more work to even make it wearable, please do mention it and discount it so that people are aware. Like, I'm not against people selling things that might be stained or might be, you know, not the best, but discount it so the person can just rip it apart and build something different out of it. Lolita Fashion, what's amazing about it is that clothing can have several different lives, and so it's so important, guys. Just be honest and upfront, and people will end up buying it or not. You will see. But yeah, like, please don't sell rank clothing, especially without mentioning it anywhere. This is just terrible. Please don't. So number 7 is also something that's related to selling things online, and it's people doing one of two behaviors. It's essentially flaky buyers. So flaky buyers that will promise you that they will buy your stuff, but then they will only get the money in a month. Can you hold the dress? You're like, okay, do I have a buyer that's lined up? No. So you're like, oh, okay, fine, I will wait. Then you wait the month, no contact. You contact them. They're like, oh, I need a bit of extra time. And then on it goes until they ghost you and stop answering and are no longer interested. Also, some other sellers, or other buyers, sorry, are the ones that aren't really interested in buying it at the price point that you put it. And don't just ask for, like, I don't know, 10% off, 15% off. You get some buyers sometimes that will request that you lower things by 50%. And we're not talking about because you like necessarily set the bar super high. It's like, it's the base market price, and then they will ask for a super rare Juliette Justine dress for like $100. And you're like, no, I will not do that. So people that ask for discounts of over $400 or ask you to lower prices up till 50%, I do consider that to be in the category of flaky buyers. So that definitely irritates me to no end. My number 8 is something that most Lolitas have gone through. You buy the dress and it looks so wonderful. You receive the dress, you fit all measurements, but the dress is really made in an inconvenient / painful way. So you might have boning in the dress that sticks into your boobs and really like it actually hurts the the sides of your body. You might have sleeves that have the elastic so tight that your arm is just like sausaged in, and it cuts into your skin. You might have arms that are super tiny for a very broad bodice, so that afterwards you're stuck with creases and wounds on your arms after wearing the dress. A wide variety of things can occur, and this is mostly due to design issues. As much as Lolita Fashion is expensive and beautiful and high quality, sometimes I find that designers don't really think everything through when they're creating the dresses. Like if somebody is indeed like 100+ centimeters in the bust, they will not have the same arm width as somebody who's like 80 centimeters bust, right? But creators oftentimes don't take that into consideration. So sometimes there's ill-fitting garments, and sometimes it's just that they don't finish up the product to my liking enough. So anyways, I've had a couple of dresses that I had at some point that were really inconvenient to wear, and I still have 2 I think that are still pretty inconvenient. So I've got a beautiful one from Putumayo that's like, it's a woolen fabric, but if you don't wear a blouse underneath, you're gonna be scratching, like itching all over and scratching yourself. It's that type of wool that's like super itchy. And I've got another one where, you know, I have a very small bust, so I have to tighten it quite a bit. But the way the corset lacing is done is it pulls like this, and it pulls the arms that are elastic in the back as well. So essentially you're squeezing the arm elastic when you're you know, lacing down. And when I wear it, every time I move my arm, it just digs into my skin. And so even though it's a beautiful dress, it hurts me physically when I wear it. And I spoke with some members of the community, and I'm not the only one that has really painful dresses. So ill-designed garments that end up hurting you in some way, shape, or form. It might be because of your body type. It might be because of poor design. Who knows? Either way, it sucks. Number 9 is fragile items, or items that you essentially look at it or wear it and it just falls apart. Especially older dresses, if they were made in like a red fabric, oftentimes what happened is that the dresses would bleed. What that means is essentially anytime water would hit it, the colors would run, so it would ruin your print. This made it essentially impossible to dunk dresses into water, and the community is still kind of shaken by that because a lot of times people are just afraid to put their dresses in water and hand wash them, so it's only dry cleaning, which can get so expensive. So personally, I hand wash everything very carefully and I steam everything very carefully, but I very seldomly take items to the dry cleaners, or else like it would be like so expensive. But yeah, so items that rip, it could be like a beautiful chiffon like that is just so fragile that anytime it would snag on anything, you would end up with having a little tear, or the threads would kind of come apart. dresses that bleed, so any type of design that just makes it so that Lolita Fashion that's super expensive, high quality, you essentially cannot wear it in real life scenarios when you're taking care of the kids, when you're going to get groceries, because anytime anything would happen, you run the risk of getting a ruined garment, ruined accessories, and it's just too expensive to do that. So please, please, please do make garments that are sustainable, durable, and that we can wear for years on end, because limited edition dresses is essentially all Lolita has, and so we take our dresses with us throughout the years, and it can make it difficult if the dress is going to fall apart as soon as you go out and take a walk into the woods. So please make them durable for me and the whole community. So number 10, I would be remiss without mentioning it. We try to live in a community where everybody is beautiful, wonderful, and handhold each other, and it's amazing. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes people don't get along, there's strife, there's conflict, and different types of behaviors can really make it difficult for a community to get along fine. And it's fine to have different types of personalities. Sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. But in the past, I've definitely seen some types of behaviors that can be a little difficult. So it's normal, especially in a very kind of materialistic fashion, to envy other people, like envy their cords, their beauty, their makeup skills. There's such wonderful people out there. What makes it difficult is if people cross the line from, oh, I wish I was like her, I wish I had those skills or whatever, to I hate her guts because she has XYZ and I don't, and she doesn't deserve it and she should just go blah 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 blah. This type of behavior can creep into communities and relationships and can make it very hard to get along, because technically everybody's envious of everybody else. I look at other Lolitas and I'm like, oh my god, they're so pretty, they're so amazing, like a major fangirl moment, right? But sometimes it crosses over into the other territory, which can make it very hard to maintain relationships. Back in the beginning of when I came into the community back in 2008, we even had, you know, like twinning currently is super in and amazing and everybody's so excited about it all the time. Well, back then, if you brought the same dress or sometimes the same brand as somebody else, a brand, like base brand, to a meet, they would flip their ever-loving mind, because they would take it as an offense, like you're coming in on my territory, like you're buying the stuff that I like, you're buying my brand, how dare you? This attitude has evolved over time, and nowadays we don't have that in the community here anymore, but I definitely remember some of those types of behaviors. So it has evolved, and as I said, now it's mostly like just envy, sometimes gets a little too aggressive, but generally speaking, people get along fine and the community is amazing. But definitely we always have to watch out for any toxic behaviors, people that are really mean to newbies. Like, it's okay to concrete and to guide, but we have to walk a thin line where we're still very inclusive and we help people out without you know, ramming into them too hard. We have to try to make it so that Lolita is as much of a safe space as can be, and to protect the younger members of our communities. And we have to all try to get along, even if we all have different life schedules, careers, like different wardrobes, different styles. Like, everybody has to try to get along. So it's super important, especially as community leaders, to keep a watch on any type of behavior that can become a little bit more of a toxic thing, and to address it as it comes along. But generally speaking, even though I have been yammering away about Lolita, the community and whatnot, and everything that I hate, it's still very much a hobby that I adore and I love. The community is something that I cherish. It's like a second family. I hope you have the pleasure of knowing a community like that. Let me know in the comments below kind of what your community is like, how you guys interact. What are the things that you can't stand about Lolita? What are some of your pet peeves? Like, share the salt down in the comments below. And as per usual, if you want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Elizabeth Fallen, please feel free to do so. And if you want to join the Baby Bat family to help get this show on the road, we're counting on you. So you can always do that as well. And I hope that you have an amazing day. Grab your community members and just have those virtual tea parties right now. It's hard for everybody to stay indoors. I hope this video was a little bit of an escape for you. Take care, stay healthy, and stay well, guys. Bye.